once again I welcome on the class of foundation engineering. So today I will discuss the deep foundation, types of deep foundation, and then I will start the pile foundation and classification of piles, and then general requirements of pile foundation and load carrying capacity methods. So there are three methods to compute the load carrying capacity on the pile. The first one is dynamic formula, and the second one is static formula, and third one is pile load test. So today I will discuss the dynamic formula, and in dynamic formula firstly I will discuss the engineering news formula and then modified Hiley formula. So let us start about the deep foundation. So the deep foundation is defined as the foundation that transfer loads to the soil much deeper than the shallow foundation. And there are three types of deep foundation. The first one is pile foundation, and the well foundation and pier foundation. So pile foundation is generally used for a smaller diameter shaft which is installed into the ground, and well foundation and pier foundation then generally larger diameter of the shaft is used. So here we can see that a small diameter for pile foundation, a small diameter shaft which can be driven or installed into the ground, and in pier foundation or well foundation, a larger diameter shaft constructed by excavation and sunk to the required depth. So today I will discuss the pile foundation. So what is pile foundation? So pile foundation is generally used at the where the bearing capacity of the soil is very low, or at a larger depth we have to construct any structures. Then at that situation, I prefer generally pile foundation. So there are classification of piles. So classification of piles, the firstly based on the material. So based on the material and composition, there are four types of pile. The first one is timber pile, steel pile, concrete pile, and composite pile. So timber pile, it is made of wood, and steel pile made of the steel, and concrete pile is made of concrete, and composite pile is made up of either concrete and timber, steel and timber. So the such type of pile is called composite pile. But this type of pile is rarely used in the construction. So there are these are the various types of pile foundation. We can see that this is the timber pile used in the bridge, and the second one, this is the steel pile and concrete pile, and this is the composite. We can see that the it is a made up of made up of concrete and timber, so that's why it is called composite pile. Classification on mode of transfer of load. So there are three types of pile on the mode of transfer of load. The first one is end bearing pile, also called point bearing pile. Similarly, friction pile or floating pile, and the combination of end bearing and friction pile. So what is end bearing pile? So in end bearing pile, the load carrying capacity at the toe of the pile, and generally in end bearing or point bearing pile, the point resistance is much greater than the frictional resistance. And in friction pile, it is also called floating pile. So the load is transferred across the height of the pile through the frictional force developed by the surrounding soil. So in frictional pile, frictional resistance is much greater than the point or tip resistance. Similarly, the combination of end bearing and friction pile. So in this type of pile, generally we take both frictional resistance as well as point resistance or end bearing resistance to compute the ultimate load carrying capacity of the pile. So we can see here these are the various this is the end bearing pile. We can see that the load is taken by the toe of the pile, and according to this we can ultimate load is equal to only the let us assume this is QP. So QU is equal to QP. Similarly, in friction pile we can see that the load carrying capacity is taken by the frictional force. So and in combined pile we can write a combination of both end bearing and frictional resistance. Based on method of installation. So there are various types of piles in the method of installation. The first one is driven pile, and the second one is board cast in situ pile, and driven and cast in situ pile, jack pile, and screw pile. So what are the driven piles? So driven pile, generally this type of piles are made of timber, steel, or precast concrete pile, and it is driven either vertically or inclined. So if it is driven inclined, then such type of pile is called batter pile or racking pile. Similarly, boat cast in situ pile. So in boat cast and situ pile, generally we make a trench and concrete is filling to make the to prepare the pile. So such type of pile is called boat cast in situ pile, and the example of this is the concrete pile. Similarly, driven and cast in situ pile. So driven and cast in situ pile, generally we make it we provide the caisson, and once we have driven the caisson, then we fill the concrete, then such type of pile is called driven and cast and situ pile. So the example of driven and cast and situ best example is Frankie pile. Similarly, jack pile and screw pile. So the piles are installed with the help of hydraulic jack. So such type of pile is called jack pile and screw pile. So the next one is we can see that the example of this is the driven pile, and this is the board and cast and situ pile. The hole is made, and then concrete is filling into the hole to make the pile, to prepare the pile. And we can see that the driven end pile. So caisson is installed into the ground, and then concrete is filling. So such type of pile is called driven and cast and situ pile. Similarly, classification based on the function. So there are various types there are various types of pile on the classification of their function: load bearing piles, transfer or uplift pile, composite pile, anchor pile, fender pile, sheet pile, and batter pile. So what is load bearing pile? So load bearing pile is defined used to transfer the load of the structure to a suitable stratum by end bearing, or by frictional, or by both. So we have already discussed the what is end bearing or frictional or both. Similarly, tension or uplift pile, compaction pile. So this pile is used to compact the loose granular soil in order to increase the bearing capacity. Similarly, anchor pile used to provide anchorage against horizontal pull, and the sheet pile is generally used in the water structure. Similarly, batter pile to resist the horizontal or inclined forces. Based on the displacement of soil, so there are two types of pile: displacement pile and non-displacement pile. So displacement pile, during installation, if large volume of soil is displaced either laterally or upward, then such type of pile is called displacement pile. And non-displacement pile, no displacement of soil during installation. So in displacement pile, in case of loose sand, in case of loose sand, generally the if the capital is the diameter of the pile, so the lateral displacement is 3.5 times the center of the pile, we can see. And in case of clay, the lateral displacement or upward displacement is 2d, where d is the diameter of the pile. After that, the general requirements for satisfactory performance of pile foundation. So it should be safe against shear failure and should be safe against settlement. So now I am going to discuss the load carrying capacity methods. So there are three methods to compute the load carrying capacity of a pile: a dynamic formula, pile load test, and static formula. So what is dynamic formula? Firstly, I will discuss the dynamic formula. Dynamic formula, and in dynamic formula I will discuss two methods: engineering news formula and modified Hiley formula. So firstly I will discuss the engineering news formula. Engineering formula. So according to this formula, allowable load or safe load, allowable load is equal to ultimate load divided by factor of safety. And the ultimate load can be written as WH divided by S plus C. where W is the weight of hammer, H is the height of fall in centimeter, and S is the settlement or penetration of pile for the last n blows, and this value of n is 5 for drop hammer, and n is equal to 20 for steam hammer, and C is the constant rebound or constant depends on types of hammer. So in the in the coming slides I will discuss the what is different types of hammer, like drop hammer, steam hammer, and diesel hammer, and vibratory hammer. So I will discuss in detail the different types of hammer. So C is the rebound or constant depends on the type of hammer, and the value of C is 2.5 centimeter for drop hammer. Similarly, C is equal to 0.25 centimeter for single steam hammer, and C is equal to 0.25 centimeter for double acting steam hammer, single acting steam hammer and double acting steam hammer. But the allowable load, the expression of ultimate load will be changed in the double acting hammer. So for double acting steam hammer, ultimate load is equal to W plus A into P divided by S plus C, where A is the cross-sectional area of the piston, and P is the allowable pressure of the piston, and W is the weight of hammer, and all the symbols are same. So here we can write A is the, just we have to use, instead of WH we have to use W plus AP into H, where A is the cross-sectional area of piston in centimeter square. So here we can compute the allowable load for the double acting steam hammer, W plus AP into H divided by S plus C, where W is the weight of hammer, A is the cross-sectional area of the piston, and P is the effective steam pressure, and H is the height of fall, and S is the settlement of the pile, and C is the constant, or generally we take 0.25 centimeter. Here we for determining the allowable load or safe load. So here we can write the allowable load is ultimate load divided by factor of safety, and in dynamic formula factor of safety is taken as 6. So in engineering new formula I will take the factor of safety 6, and in modified Hiley formula I will take the factor of safety is 2.5. So what are the different types of hammer used? So there are various types of hammer, like drop hammer, single acting steam hammer, double acting steam hammer, vibratory hammer, air hammer, diesel hammer and hydraulic hammer. So what are the different types of hammer? So drop hammer is the one of the simplest type of hammer and one of the oldest type of hammer, and this is also called gravity type, raised by a board, belt or air and drops under gravity. So this hammer is raised by the either using board, belt or air and drops under gravity. So such type of hammer is called a drop hammer. What is single acting steam hammer? So this is the power assisted, and this is raised by the pressure of steam injected into the lower part of a cylinder and drops under gravity. So it is raised by the steam injected into the lower part of the cylindrical and drops under gravity. Similarly, double acting steam hammer, it is also raised by the steam injected under the lower part of the cylinder, but drop is steam is also used to push the ram down, going uh, going more powerful flow. So when once it will be dropped, so the steam is also used to make the drop by using the more powerful blow. Other types of hammer is vibrating hammer, air hammer, diesel hammer and hydraulic hammer is also used, but this type of hammer is frequently used in the dynamic formula. So we can see that this is the drop hammer. We can see that this is crane and this is boom, and we can see that this is hammer and this is the part of helmet. So this is helmet cushion, helmet and pile cushion, and this is the our pile. So with the help of hammer, attack on the pile, and we generally install the pile at the given soil at the given foundation. Similarly, here we can see that this is our drop hammer and pile is installed, and this is the single acting steam hammer. So the various parts we can see that in the single steam hammer, this is our piston and this is our ram. So and this is helmet and pile. So this is the single steam hammer. So only difference between the drop hammer and steam hammer is the hammer is raised by belt or any uh, other we can see that here hammer is raised by the board, belt or air and drops by the gravity. So that type of hammer is called drop hammer, and in single steam hammer, hammer is raised by the steam injected in the lower part and then dropped under the gravity. And in double acting steam hammer, once again the hammer is raised by the steam, but it is dropped by the gravity, as well as additionally steam pressure is applied to make the powerful blows. We can also see that here the type drop hammer. So the different types of the drop components of the this hammer. So this is the hammer component, this is the ram, and this is anvil, and the helmet component, it is pile cap and pile cushion, and this is the pile. So these are the various components used in the drop hammer. This is the method installation in the by using drop hammer. We can see that this is our hammer, and once it impacted on the pile, so it will be installed. So now I am going to discuss the another method of the dynamic method, that is modified Hiley formula. Modified Hiley formula. So according to this formula, this is the modification over engineering news formula, and we can see that the allowable load or safe load is equal to same as ultimate load divided by factor of safety. Here QA or QS is the allowable or safe load, and FOS is the factor of safety, and it is taken as 2.5, and Q is the ultimate load. So what is ultimate load? So ultimate load is equal to W into H into efficiency of blows divided by S plus C by 2, where W is once again weight of hammer, H is the height of fall, So where S is the final set or penetration per blow in centimeter, and C is the total elastic compression constant, that is the sum of C1 plus C2 plus C3, and C1 is the temporary elastic compression of the dolly and packing, and C2 is the temporary elastic compression of the pile, and the C3 is the temporary elastic compression of the soil. So we can see here C is the total elastic compression, which is the sum of C1 plus C2 plus C3, and as I told you, C1 is the temporary elastic compression of dolly and packing, C2 is the temporary elastic compression of pile, and C3 is the temporary elastic compression of soil. Similarly, C1, the expression of C1 can be computed as 1.77 QU by A, where the driving is without dolly or helmet and cushion about 2.5 centimeter thick. So where QU is the ultimate load and A is the cross-sectional area of the pile in centimeter square. Or we can take 9.05 QU by A, where the driving is with short dolly up to 60 centimeter long and helmet, and cushion up to 7.5 centimeter thick. Then we will use 9.05 QU by A. Similarly, temporary elastic compression of the pile can be computed as 0.657 QUL by A, where QU is the ultimate load and L is the length of the pile in meter and A is the area of pile in centimeter square. And similarly, temporary elastic compression of the soil can be computed by this expression, where as I told you that L is the length of the pile in meter and A is the area of pile in centimeter square. Similarly, for the determination of allowable load by the modified Hiley formula, eta is also used, that is the efficiency of blow that represents the ratio of energy after impact to the striking energy of the ram. And the efficiency of blows can be computed in two cases: when our weight is greater than R into P, where R is the coefficient of restitution, and if this case is W is greater than RP, then efficiency can be computed as W plus R square P divided by W plus P. And second case, when W is less than RP and pile is driven into penetrable ground, then we can compute the efficiency of blows, that is W plus R square P by W plus P into minus W minus R minus RP into W plus P whole square, where W we know that weight of hammer and P is the weight of pile, anvil and helmet weight, and R is the coefficient of restitution, and the value of coefficient of restitution lies between 0 to 0.5. So for steel ram of double acting hammer striking on the steel anvil and driving reinforced concrete pile, in that case we will take the value of R is 0.5, and for cast iron ram of single acting or drop hammer striking on head of the reinforced concrete pile, we will take the value of coefficient of restitution is 0, and for single acting or drop hammer striking a well conditioned driving cap and helmet with hardwood, we will take the coefficient of restitution is 0.25, or directly attack on the head of the timber pile, then we in that case also we will take the coefficient of restitution is 0.25. Similarly, for a deteriorated condition of the head of the pile or dolly, we will take the coefficient of restitution is equal to 0. And the efficiency of blows can be computed. There is a relation between the P by W and coefficient of restitution. So with the help of P by W ratio and coefficient of restitution, we can compute the efficiency of blow. So dear student, today I have discussed about the pile foundation, classification of piles, and then load carrying capacity method. So I have discussed the three methods to compute the load carrying capacity or allowable load. And the first one is dynamic formula, and the second one is static formula, and the third one is pile load test. So today I have discussed the dynamic formula, and in dynamic formula I have discussed the engineering news formula, and after that modified Hiley formula. So in the next class, I will take problems based on the dynamic formula. So take care of your health and happy learning.